What's going on, everybody? It has been a while, but we are here tonight and very happy to be here. Very anxious to talk to you all tonight for another episode of Between the Ropes. Of course, myself and Jeff are both here tonight to talk about our feelings about the past week in pro wrestling and just overall a lot of stuff going on. Jeff, is what usually happens when we don't get to do this for a little while, but a lot of news brewing in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, lots of stuff tends to happen. So, and then we end up thinking that we're going to spend a little bit of time and end up spending more. So,
yeah, that's usually the way that it goes. We do have a lot to talk about. We are going to have some changes, though, and as you can see, Jeff's been hard at work on the graphics for the show. It's now we're sitting at desks. How cool is that? But yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a new look. The other thing is we're going to change the time as well. We're going to move it back because we figure that this way we can get started a little earlier. For those of you like James that's in chat right now, thank you, James, for coming out. You won't have to stay up so late if you want to check out the show. So we're going to do that. We're going to decide on a time we're going to start, but we're going to make it earlier than 8:30 Eastern where we do it now. I usually get home from work on Sundays around 6:30 ish, so we could even make it like 7 and start there and stuff like that, just to get it over with a little bit early. And this way, Jeff most of the time has to work on Mondays anyway, so a lot of times he's staying up late. So it'll work best for both of us. And so we're going to do that. Obviously, we have our schedule that we do for the course of the week, which we'll talk about. And Jeff, I want you to tell the guys what you've got planned for the channel as well. I know Jeff has kind of started doing some smaller, like little videos and things like that. And so, let everybody know what you've got planned for the channel, man.
Yeah, so I mean, in the next hopefully month, I would say maybe not even that, but I hope to have a new logo, new branding, new all of that, and a lot of short content. We've been doing that already. It's been working pretty well. That was kind of my pilot program. So we're going to do a lot of short content. Try to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do some different types of content. I'll explain later about what that means. Not later today, but later when we get to that point, what it means and how I feel like it fits into what we'll be doing. So, and one thing that I'm really looking forward to at some point within the next, I'd say, couple months, I'm looking to do a round table. We've talked about it a few times. I actually want to make it happen, so I'm setting a goal for myself to make it happen. So, but we'll get all of the details and all that good stuff out to you. But yeah, again, we're just gonna keep trying to reinvent ourselves and do things and freshen things up a little bit, and yeah, hopefully everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, and as always, guys, we're like a small family here, of course. If there's ever anything that you guys in particular would like to, see us do, hear us talk about, things like that, we're always open to suggestions and stuff from you guys as well. Whether you can, if you want to send them to me via the DMs and Twitter, or you want to, send us an email at our email, whatever. If there's any, things that you would like to hear or see as far as content is concerned, let us know. Obviously, let us know. We would love to hear from you. And obviously, you guys have been with us. Most of you have been with us for a long time. And so, let us know. And we can certainly take a lot of that into consideration as well. But what we've got coming up, obviously, is our normal lineup for the week. So Tuesdays, of course, we have Fireflies Forever, which is heating up. Just a lot of cool stuff happening with that. I know I got to see some of it last week. A friend of mine, Joey, sent over those pictures from the Wyatt 6 house, and Jeff, of course, showed them on the show. So make sure you tune in there, because there's seemingly a lot going on with the Wyatt 6. Supposedly, they might be getting into another confrontation with a group on SmackDown. That'll be kind of interesting if that becomes the truth. And also, they opened up the other Wyatt 6 house in Hollywood, which actually people are saying. I saw C's video, and other people I know that have seen it are saying that there is there is different things in both of them. So that's kind of cool, that they do have two different rides there, and you can go and see different stuff. So that's very cool. Bray merchandise is there's stuff coming. I did hear that, of course, a couple more action figures are on the way, and they're supposed to come out. I heard this via a news source that they're supposed to come out with a Firefly Funhouse play set after this Wyatt 6 thing has been going on. So, of course, that's going to include Bray, the puppets, and Alexa Bliss as well in there. So that's kind of cool. So make sure you check out the guys on Tuesday. Of course, Jeff and Chris for Fireflies Forever at 6:00 p.m. You can see the times up there. And then, of course, Thursday, we're getting closer and closer to Victory Road. Won't be that long away. So join us Thursday at, of course, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the TNA watch along. I'm done with back to school, thank God, in Staples. So I will definitely be able to get here by 9:00 now for sure, and join you guys for the very end of it. And maybe even a little earlier than that if I get out early enough from work. And then, of course, Sundays, we're going to, again, like Jeff was saying, we're going to change the time for the Sunday show. Going to move it back a bit. And then we're going to try to do this more often. And try to make it on the days when, of course, there won't be any pay-per-views. We still won't do one during a pay-per-view, and because we know people watch them. But we're going to try to do them more consistently on Sundays that there are not pay-per-views. And then, like Jeff said, the short content. Short content is cool. I know a lot of people like that because it's quick and easy to watch. You can almost listen to it like a podcast in many ways. So we're gonna get all that kind of stuff going too, because we've been doing this a while now, and you got to change. You gotta roll with the changes, and you got to change things up a little bit, and that's what we're gonna do. So, all right. So that's our schedule, Jeff. Anything else before we get started?
No, that's it, man.
All right. So we're going to get into it, guys. And Jeff, what are we starting the show off with?
All right. So we're going to start with a little bit of the news, and in particular, any breaking news that you or anyone in the chat may have.
Let me think here if I heard anything. The only real breaking news, and it's really not like anything astonishing, is that it came to fruition that Brock was scheduled for that show, apparently, so it wasn't a surprise. In fact, I think they were saying that ticket holders kind of got wind of it, and they kind of knew a little bit ahead of time that he was going to be there. So obviously he didn't end up being the big story from Friday, but of course Brock did show up. And it does seem like it seems like he was scheduled, at least the people, some of the people that were going to the event, kind of knew about it ahead of time, or some people did anyway. I'm trying to. Oh, and I guess the other one is the AJ Styles news a little bit, Jeff. Apparently his contract is coming up in the spring of next year, and he did put this little cryptic message. I think it was on his Instagram, a little timer on there. So that's I mean, will he continue to stick around in WWE past his contract time? Will he make a last stop back to his old home and go back to TNA for maybe just a little bit before he retires? So don't really know. I don't really know how that can go, Jeff. And I'll tell you, I mean, I'm a TNA guy at heart, so I'd kind of like to see him maybe do that, have one last run in TNA. But in any case, AJ's he's been around for a bit, and a lot of times when that's the case, you kind of get to that point at the end of the road where you're like, I think I've done everything I could have done, and I want to kind of leave here of my own volition. Don't want to get hurt or anything like that, and yeah, but Jeff will be celebrated no matter what he does, whether it's a Hall of Fame invite to TNA and WWE. He could end up with both, but just a stellar career, and it'll be sad to see him go.
Yeah, I mean, I think he spoke not long ago about next year being his last year competitively, I believe, and what a career. He will be a Hall of Famer in WWE and TNA.
Yeah.
I do hope that he has an opportunity to at least have a few matches in TNA before he retires. But tremendous career and legacy, and man, it's been awesome to watch.
It's bittersweet, Jeff. Like when we've watched wrestling for so long, and the guys that we kind of grew up with, and we watched them all throughout their careers. My gosh, when we go back and see those old TNA videos with AJ with the real short bang haircut and stuff like that, it's like, we grew up watching him, and when that time comes, it's happy for the wrestler and happy that they're getting out while they're still able, that they're not, they don't have any injuries that are forcing it and stuff like that, which is even more sad. But, it's always kind of bittersweet when, that you're congratulating them, you're happy for them. But on the other hand, you're thinking of yourself a little bit too, and you're like, man, we're going to miss that dude, and all the stuff that he did for professional wrestling. So, but either way, however he chooses to retire, if that's indeed what he does, it's just another one of those legends that we're going to lose. I think AJ, Jeff, too, would make and I don't know if he'd want to stay around the wrestling business, but I think he'd make a great either backstage kind of guy, as whether it be like a producer or like helping do the writing and stuff like that. I can even see him, Jeff, oddly enough, because he always had the great like speaking presence and stuff. I can see him as an announcer somewhere too, if he'd ever want to do that. I think he'd do really well with that.
Yeah, I think he'd be great backstage.
Yeah,
in any role.
Yep.
He'd be, no pun intended, but pun intended, phenomenal. He'd be great at it, and I do think that's where this will end up. I do think he'll end up working with WWE in that capacity, but we'll see when it happens. But I'm just, again, very, very honored to have been able to be a fan of his for so long.
Yeah. Yep. Great guy. Always a great guy. A lot of people are going to remember him from newer matches and stuff like that too. We try to forget the COVID era, but who can forget that the Boneyard match? I mean, one of the coolest things we ever got to see, and that was during a very, very bad time. So man, it just amazing. So, oh yeah, sorry about that, Jen. I knew there's another person I knew that just lost their. It's so hard. When you have a pet, and you've had them for a long time, it's very difficult when they pass away. So we're sorry to hear that. That's very, very sad news. James, with some sad news too. An indie wrestler called Jaka had an injury on the show Beyond Wrestling. Just announced he passed away. Oh boy. Wow, that's horrible as well. Yeah, I never want to hear anything like that. Zach, hello, National Beer Lovers Day. I am not a beer drinker, never was. But for those of you who do, have at it. I'm getting my Angry Orchard horror pack in with the Jason can. So my daughter found one for me. So she's sending it along. So I should have that at some point. Get to taste all that. The Jason can is blood orange, Jeff. Blood orange Angry Orchard. Somebody taste tested it online and said it was pretty good. So
awesome.
So I'm anticipating that. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else, Jeff. I don't know if you had anything.
I don't.
Right.
The only thing I have is the huge news that we're about to get into. So we might as well just do this, right?
Light it up, Jeff.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. Wrestling is so funny, right? Like we get all this stuff. We get all this stuff spoiled. We knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. They weren't going to hide this from anybody. You saw the way the storyline was going. Becky coming out and slapping the crap out of Seth, and we're all like, come on now. People were trying to they were trying to talk us into other things. Like somebody was saying, oh, maybe it'll be Rhea Ripley. Maybe it'll be, somebody else. Come on, man. We knew AJ Lee was coming back. And oh man, Jeff, what a moment that was. Had to be amazing for her. 10 years. 10 years. Had to be an amazing feeling. That crowd erupted. And oh my gosh. And she looks great. Comes in and did the whole crazy chick thing, which I love. Like that, she didn't change a bit. Looks like she hasn't aged either.
Right.
I mean, phenomenal return. Listen, you can say all you want about WWE, right? Criticize them as much as you want, but you know what? They do things like this with returns just about better than anybody. And this could not have gone better like that. And obviously, Jeff, too, hats off to Becky as well, because Becky just was like terrified. Becky had that like scared look on her face, like, oh my God. And then Seth is out there. And when they heard the beginning of the song, Seth's like, no, it can't be. Like, you just see him shaking his head. It was just done so really well. And I heard an interview this morning with another person talking about it and said, you really have to tip the cap to Becky Lynch, because Becky went from being this big mega baby face to now one of the most hated women in wrestling. And she brought this about. If she wasn't doing this and doing what she was doing right now with Seth and everything, and then of course Punk, AJ may have not had the opportunity like this to step back in. She could have come back, but it may not have been like this. And now, Jeff, I'm imagining we're going to get at WrestlePalooza. It's got to be CM Punk and AJ Lee against Becky and Seth. I'm guessing that's got to be the thing.
Yeah, I would assume so. Maybe not. Maybe they hold it off, but I can't see them doing that. But
yeah, especially for ESPN with that going on. Yeah, it got to be big.
I would imagine they want to make a big splash on ESPN, so that would be a big splash. Plus the next thing that we're about to talk about. So I would imagine that those two things are for sure on that show. And yeah, I mean, this was great. Seeing AJ again was great. She has not aged.
No, man. It looks the same. Yeah.
And seeing CM Punk down there just light up.
Yep.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
He was very happy, and that crowd, that pop, man.
My God, deafening.
It was awesome. So
yep.
Yeah, it was great. Even though the great uh, journalistic sites will say all had it, everybody. I mean, everyone knew it anyway. But I just
Right.
take another opportunity to take a shot at one of them. But it was still great, and
It was awesome.
I
I got to share the shirt, Jeff. Check this out. I love
yeah,
that.
that's
That's
awesome.
a sick looking shirt. Look at that. It says "Love Bites Back," and it's got like a spider and a web and stuff in the front. It's like pink and black. I love that. That's a cool shirt, dude.
It is.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is just cool, man. I love returns. I love when stuff like this happens and everything, and I think it's, oh my gosh, she has a Tops Now card out already for the Tops Now thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just very cool, man. I think it's fantastic. Good thing they kept their song. Yeah, I mean, you could never come out without that. The song is kind of a staple for her. But man, oh man, she did the thing where she like swings in the middle rope, which I always thought was cool. And of course the crazy cool thing. Like I said, I'm wondering if Jeff, do you think she's going to keep the crazy personality? Like she's going to keep that?
I think for now, yes.
Yeah.
I think until the new crowd learns who she is,
Yeah.
and the folks that have kind of grown up with her, so to speak, will remember. I think once we get through that part, then we might see a change. But I'm just glad to see her back. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what she does, how she does it. I'm happy she's back.
It's got to be so cool for Punk too, Jeff. Right? Like the look he had on his face too. You could just see like you could see the pride. You know what I mean? Like how proud he was that she was back and in the hometown and everything like that. Like it was just really cool. And so far this feud, a lot of people said between him and Seth has been pretty one-sided. It's been all Seth for the most part. But this is a big thing now. And now think about it. Yeah, they can have the match, but then you go even further with it. And I keep saying what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to win a Rumble this year, and I think he's going to call a shot, and I think she's going to be in his corner to be that evening out factor. I do believe that CM Punk will beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania next year.
That was going to be my question: is what title does he go after?
Oh, it's going to be Seth's for sure. Yeah, Seth's for sure. He might swerve it a little bit because they usually do. But it's got to be after all this animosity and this big. Think about it. Doesn't it seem to you too, Jeff, like almost like Cody's story a little bit, right? That huge mountain that Cody had to climb with Roman to get over the top. And Punk is going to have to go through that same gauntlet in a way because he's going to have Braun Breaker. He's going to have, Bronson Reed. He's going to have to fight all that off. And then Becky and everything too to get through that. So it's going to be very, very similar story. But yeah, I think Punk will have his day come next year. They're gonna space this out. They're gonna go with it. But I would be shocked. I would be very surprised if Punk doesn't win the Rumble. Very, very surprised next year. But yeah, I'm fired up, man. I think this is going to be great. It's great for wrestling. And obviously women's wrestling, which in WWE is phenomenal right now. Fantastic wrestling, women wrestlers in WWE. AJ just adds to that. So yeah, was great. Was done extremely well. So
yep.
Good stuff. They kept her. Good thing they kept her song. Yeah, like I said, I don't think they would have gotten rid of it. James, the card isn't on the digital thing yet because I didn't see it yet either. The digital one is going to get it. That's the physical card that they made. For those that didn't think AJ Lee is still a draw, look at the number of views on the socials, even top punks. Oh yeah, I have no doubt. AJ was always huge. And it didn't matter. She is big with males and females alike.
Everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I had no doubt, no doubt that I'm surprised that her shirt didn't sell out. Being honest. So, props to Becky for the way she. Yeah, Derek. Again, like I said, without Becky doing what she did, and it's not easy to go from a mega face to a mega heel. It's not easy to do. Sometimes it just doesn't work. The good ones can do it. Charlotte's trying to do it now, but it's still at times you're kind of wondering when Charlotte's going to turn on Alexa. So you're still kind of not believing it. And so, but yeah, Becky's killing it as a heel. So you had Bailey coming out. Yeah, there were rumors. Bailey was rumored. They said Rhea was rumored. They mentioned a bunch of names. So Paige, Brandon, you can never say never anymore in wrestling. You can never say never. It's all about the time they return, how they return. You can never say never. And maybe even people that burn a bridge or two are sometimes welcome back under a new regime. So you can never say never in professional wrestling. Anything can happen. So, hello, Clown. How are you? Believe Alexa's turning on Charlotte, says Noob. There's something weird going on there, right? There's something weird going on there. Yeah, like how she gave her the Lily doll and stuff like that. Like what does she want her to do? Like C Wrestling mentioned in his video, does she want her to turn to like a dark side, like a darker? I don't know, but there's something. Yeah, there's something going on there. So
come join us on Tuesday. We'll be talking.
There you go. Nice segue into Tuesday. Go check it out. Yeah, they'll talk about Alexa. AJ just looked happy. Oh, she absolutely did. Yeah, she looked thrilled. She looked thrilled. She tried to stay in character, which I noticed when we're watching her face on the way down. She's trying to stay in character and do the crazy, but then you could just see when CM Punk was looking at her and she looked back at him, and it must have been hard, right? It must have been hard to completely stay in character and not like crack a big smile because you're back. But she did. Yeah, she did. So good stuff, Jeff. It was great to see her back.
Yeah. I don't know if it was great to see this guy back if you're John Cena. Brock Lesnar spoiling John Cena's final SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't he? He looks like meaner now. Like I don't know what it is. Like he just looked like with the long hair and the longer bit and the unkempt beard. Like he just looks more nasty now than he did before. Plus, he's just like huge. I mean, Brock's just immense. But yeah, he killed the party, man. Obviously, the unexpected match between Sammy and Cena was kind of cool. And Sammy putting the title on the line. Jeff, you know what I love? Cena is doing his opponent's moves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. How much can you tributize your opponents, who many of them aren't even in WWE anymore, and he's still paying tribute to those opponents that that he had in the past by using their finishers and stuff like that during the course of his run. This is what we all wanted. This is what we wanted to see. And they, that whole heel thing, it probably wasn't a good idea. Because the fans didn't want to see that. They wanted to just celebrate Cena and all that kind of stuff. And now they're getting to do that. But I'd be a little mad, I think, if I got to see a show where he was heel Cena and now seeing all the celebration and stuff going on when he's good. Right. Yeah.
Like you took away a large chunk of that time.
Yeah, they really did. That was kind of a mistake. And I'll be curious to see. They do a sequel to that behind whatever that was called, where they show that. Yeah, if they do a sequel to that, I'd be really surprised to see if they kind of admit that it was a mistake.
I only have one question, because not that I know anything, but if you read the tea leaves, if you look at people's posts and do all that thing, all those things, you can deduce that The Rock was supposed to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
And when we got to WrestleMania, he just wasn't.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? I want to see how they address it, if they ever address it at all. Something tells me that they never address it, and that's one of those things that maybe they're like, yeah, maybe one day they'll forget about it. No, we won't, but they'll pretend that we will. So
Yeah. Just look at Jeff how that, yeah, and we've talked about this on our show before. Look how the mood changed in wrestling from like the end of May, June until now. Do you remember how when we were doing this show, like back in those times in May, June, we were kind of like wrestling's kind of blah. Like it's not eliciting a lot of happiness to a lot of people. And it kind of spread. Like it went through WWE, it went through TNA for a little while. It was just that like there was just bad vibes everywhere. Yeah. And that's why I was just, yeah. I mean, you're right. It could a lot of it could be attributed. Now they're talking about The Rock the last couple of days in the news, and they were saying how he had a drop. He dropped like a whole bunch of weight. So now they're saying that he could be completely done with wrestling. So, it would be interesting to hear about that. James wants him to break out the Tombstone Pile Driver. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be awesome. But yeah, man, Brock is back. Look, we know. I guess the question is, Jeff, is Brock his last match? Is that the most appropriate way that this would be, or is this going to be his last big pay-per-view match? And I think that would be the question that I would have.
See, I don't know. Other than CM Punk or someone like that, I don't know who else would be Cena's last match other than Brock. And you think about Cena has not had success, not a lot of it, against Brock Lesnar in his career. So does he go out with little to no success against Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
To your earlier point, do we see him hit the F5 on Brock Lesnar?
No.
What's going to happen? So I think Brock may be the most fitting unless they do what James just said.
Gunther?
Yeah. I just don't. I don't know of anything else.
Yeah. Gunther's an interesting one. I mean, he might pass. That could be Brock's personal choice of maybe who he'd like to pass the torch to. And I mean, why not? Gunther deserves all the accolades he gets. But yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to see that. I mean, do we get this, Jeff? Is this Palooza? Is this Palooza?
I think you have to. From a WWE standpoint, trying to get eyes on the product, on this new method to access your product. So I think you would put 2 to 3 big matches on that card to draw people in right away. And how do you do that? Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and the affiliation he has with sports, obviously too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just think about it. The main events, Cena, Brock. We just talked about that. Seth and Becky against AJ and Punk. I mean, they're right there are 2 amazing main events, among others that you can have. It's almost kind of like we're getting a third WrestleMania in a way. So yeah, I would probably say that's probably going to happen. Who does Cena break out sister out? That's a great question, Clown. He really should. He really should use Sister Abigail. Yeah, with the relationship that he had with Bray. Yeah, that's a good one. Some people might get a little misty-eyed with that.
Yeah.
Rock may be awarded for or nominated for an Academy Award for his new movie. Cena's last match will be on December, Saturday night's main event. Yeah, I saw that. Unfortunately, I did hear also that it's not going to be in Boston anymore, which kind of sucks. Apparently, there's a bidding war for the last one, and apparently Washington D.C. is who won it.
Wow.
So there, yeah, that I thought for sure that he would go out in his hometown, but apparently it's going to be in DC. So yeah, and at least I've read that in a few different places. If it's true or not, I don't know. But yeah, it would have been really cool in Boston. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Brock's look. Say what you will. I know that If you hate the dude, I completely understand. I completely understand with things that he was involved in or allegedly involved in. But and we haven't really talked to you guys since Brock came back. But apparently, if you look at the legal part of it, he was cleared by legal. So whatever that whole thing that is going on, with the lawsuit and all that, he couldn't come back unless he had been cleared by lawyers and legal, and he was. So take that what you will from that. I don't know any more details other than that. But yeah, so Cena's last match, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. That'd be cool. I don't think that'll be the case, but I think that'd be cool.
I would love some type of interaction between Cena and the Wyatt Six.
I would too.
Something, anything.
Yep. Me too.
I would absolutely love it. Hey, Sean Rousset.
Hey, Sean.
And I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna be coughing throughout the night. My son had his first game yesterday, and it rained.
Oh yeah,
entire game, and I mean just pouring the entire game. It was so yeah, it's football season, folks.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe it's already September. My gosh, did this year fly by? But in any case, yeah. So it was a hell of a SmackDown, man. And between AJ's return, Brock coming back, oh man, that was one of the better SmackDown shows I've seen.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good, really good. So, and how about real quick blurb about the announcement team changes, Jeff?
Yeah,
Michael Cole and who's with Cole now? What's his name? Oh my God, I forgot his name already. Chat, help me. Who was with Michael Cole last night on commentary? They're now the main commentary team. But Corey Graves. They're now the main commentary team on both shows, from what I understand, which is weird. They're going to go back and they're going to be on Raw and SmackDown. So I don't know. A lot of people are still asking about McAfee. McAfee needed a break. I finally read up on that, and he said he just needed a break. He said he needed to get away, and now of course he's doing his college football stuff. But that was the reason. I was gonna say
now it's like it's time for football. So he's gonna be doing his thing over there. So
yeah. Wait, ask for time off, said Derek. Yeah. So I mean, go figure. Remember how everybody just a few months ago was saying, what the hell happened with poor Corey? Why did Corey Graves get booted? And now he's like the main guy. So just a quick little blurb about that. Football related, both Joe and Pat do football stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Pat does, but Pat did want the time off prior to that. He said he was just burned out. He said he was just doing too much. So, which I can see. He has a show every day that he does on ESPN. I'm sure that does happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jeff. Well, let's move on. What do you got next?
So, AEW All Out, which I have a couple of things I want to say about this, but AEW All Out moves the time of their event, which we know was counter programmed by WWE with WrestlePalooza. So,
Yeah. Well, I will say this: smart move. Yeah, I'm sorry, but they're going to get buried. They would have gotten buried by WrestlePalooza, buried. Especially with, I mean, we've just talked about two of the possible matches, and they're not even really announced yet. But we just talked about two of them. I'm sorry, but again, I'm not saying this to be derogatory to the company. Again, like I said many times on this show, I don't watch it, so I'm certainly not going to criticize them. I don't watch the show, but I can just tell you that if they would have gone up against WrestlePalooza, the event that's going to be on ESPN and all that kind of, they would have gotten buried. I don't care what matches you're sticking on there. Yes, of course, the AEW people, the ones who are loyal, that they watch every single show, will more than likely be there. But you ain't getting any other fans from any, like, you're not getting the fringe fans, and you're definitely not getting the WWE fans with WrestlePalooza happening. And so it was smart to do. Now, does it provide a good look? Is a question. WWE has come out and they're challenging them. They are, they were putting the NXT programming up against them. And they seem to be doing that now. Whenever AEW's got something going on, they are going to schedule something against them. Now, I think when Jeff and I were together last, Jeff made a comment about how that doesn't even necessarily have to be WWE that's instigating that. That could be the company that owns WWE right now that could be doing that too, which it could be. But, whenever you move things around, it's a concession. It's a concession. You're conceding in a way, and their fans, the loyalists and stuff, probably would never admit that. They would never say that, but it is. It's a concession, and but the thing is like I said, it was a logical thing to do at the same time because you weren't going to win. You just aren't. You could have taken their biggest pay-per-view of the year, AEW's, stick it up against this Palooza, they would have gotten buried. No matter, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what card is. I don't care what the card is. You would have gotten buried, and no matter which way you look at it. So,
yeah, I have so many thoughts on this.
Go right ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Because I know that the report, when I first heard about this, the report that I saw said WWE counter programs AEW All Out, and that was before it was announced that it was going to be WrestlePalooza and all of that stuff. And yes, they very much so did counter program AEW All Out. I'm old enough to remember a time where there were TV shows on networks back in the day, or just networks in general, that would counter program one another when they knew one had a big event or something big going on their channel. Another one would counter program to try and draw away from viewers of that. It's called competition. And for the people that say, well, why are they trying to push down on AEW? They're trying to kick them when they're down. I remember a time, I'm old enough to remember, Chris Jericho at one point saying that AEW was one day going to beat Raw in the ratings. I remember people talking about, this is a good secondary company. It's a good secondary promotion. And Tony Khan saying, absolutely not. We're second to no one. We're competing with WWE. I remember those days. When you compete, you open yourself up for these types of things. Is it greedy? Is it unfair? Is it a you know what move? Yeah, but you open yourself up to it when you do a lot of chatter, and your competitors in a different position. I'm not saying it's right. Not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying if you're gonna tempt the snake to bite, don't be surprised when it strikes.
Yeah, that's very true. Bonus baby, you're comparing apples and oranges. You're going to tell me that a debut on HBO Max is as big as a debut on ESPN? It's not even close. It's not even close. HBO Max is a pay channel, number one. ESPN is seen nationwide, national, worldwide. The worldwide leader in sports. You can't compare those two. You cannot compare those two. HBO Max, friends of mine, the family members and stuff like that, they don't have it. They don't have HBO Max. Yeah, so that's not even a proper comparison. So if that's the flag you're going to stand on, it's not a very good flag. So at least in my opinion. So, but yeah, look, the rumors are the people are now talking about, you mentioned Jericho. People are talking about Jericho's been talking about WWE. Look, it is what it is. And everybody's going to like what they're going to like. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But like Jeff said, sometimes when you open your mouth, you insert your foot. And sometimes it's better to be quiet. Than to come at someone, because sometimes when you come at
I see what you're saying, bonus baby.
Yeah,
I see what you were saying.
Wants their first show on ESPN to be huge. Oh, I get you. Okay, yeah. I misunderstood what you said.
Both of them have the same goal but competing interests.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But look, when the little. When the little animal comes up and bites the big animal, sometimes the big animal will ignore the little animal because it's like it doesn't faze it. But when it bites back, then the little animal shouldn't be surprised that it bit back, because there's only so much of those little nips you can take before you're going to strike back at it, and usually when you do, it's going to mean bad things for the little animals. So yeah, but I have YouTube TV. So I get all of it now, which is kind of cool. And actually, if you don't, YouTube TV is not a bad option for people who pay cable. That's the reason I have it, because it's way cheaper than my cable was getting to be.
And my goodness, there's a beautiful thing called multi-view.
Yes.
If you're a football fan or a sports fan, basketball, baseball, multi-view is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, you can watch simultaneous stings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got 4 screens going of football games on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm happy, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, then, James, you can use Stephanie McMahon's VPN that she talked about in her show. Oh, man.
Oh, that'll way to get people to buy your $30.
Right? Right?
Yeah, that's one way to do it, man.
I mean, hey.
Hey.
So, but yeah, so there you go. I mean, look, it is what it is. But AEW has moved back to 3 p.m. And so they're so now look, if you're a wrestling fan and you love both, then good on you. You can watch them both. You can sit and watch it in the after. You'll have a nice big full day of wrestling to watch, right? You'll be able to start at 3 p.m. You go to, what are they, 4 hours long? You go to 7, right? They take a little break, go to the bathroom, make yourself some food, get some food, and then come right in, watch the WrestlePalooza. And you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. So, all right, my friend, what do we have next?
So we got wedding bells. MJF getting married.
Yeah, how about this? I was quite well. I mean, I'm not shocked. They've been together for a while. But MJF getting married just seems weird, doesn't it? Like, because of the character that he plays. Something you just don't see past the character that they play. And you're like, man, I don't know. Like, what woman in their right mind would marry this guy, right? But yeah, no, they've been together for a bit, and so yeah, congrats. Look, it's always cool when one of the people that we watch and stuff like that, they do their things in their personal lives. They get married and stuff like that. Show us they have a life outside of wrestling. And things like that. So yeah, congrats to him. And look at that big smile on his face. You never see MJF smile.
I knew that something was going to happen one day when she was interviewing him and what he called her. The name that he called her. We'll just say the first name rhymes with Bits and the last name was McGee. When I heard them do that interview, I was like, yep, there we pretty sure maybe they'll end up together one day, and here we go. So
yeah. You don't just, I mean, of course James spelled it out for you, everybody. I've heard that term before, by the way. That's but like Jeff said, that's not something that you would call a prospective girlfriend, maybe, or something like that, because you'd probably get backhanded. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Did he break character for the wedding or keep it kayfabe? Yeah, Pastor, I'll take this floozy. I'm sure there's going to be some wrestling shenanigans involved in there a little bit. But yeah, no, look, it's awesome. Happy for him. I got another perspective of MJF when I watched Happy Gilmore.
He's talented, man.
Tell you what, man, I could see him doing some acting stuff. I could see it. He was funny in that. You definitely could see he could do comedy and stuff. So yeah, I could see it. But listen, I've said for a long time that for as long as AEW lasts, they better hitch their wagon to this guy. Because he is huge. And the last thing they want, I know he has a long contract, but the last thing they want is for that contract to expire and him to walk away and go to WWE. He's a star, and yeah. And so congrats to him and Alicia. It's very cool. MJF is really better than us, and he knows it. It's true. It's true.
All right, man. So Joe, the fact that you haven't gotten to join me on Thursday nights, man, there's so much.
I have missed so much TNA. Oh my God. I don't even catch up with it a lot of the times because I come home from work and I'm beat and I don't even see what's going on. But look.
So the week before, Trick Williams brought his attorney. His attorney was trying to stop Santino from making the match official.
Okay.
At Bound for Glory. The attorney for his troubles ended up with a cobra. I said during the stream, I hope that wasn't for billable hours because he was out for a while. So Santino finally made the match official. Trick says, I'll think about it, but this is what we have. So we've got this, and then also Indy Hartwell has earned a spot at Bound for Glory in the Knockouts World Championship match against the winner of Masha Slamovich versus Ash by Elegance, the TNA Knockouts champion. That match will take place at victory road. So
Mm.
yeah, lots going on right now in TNA. But yeah, Santana and Trick Williams set for the time being for Bound for Glory. So Joe, what do you think about that, man?
Well, look, after the last pay-per-view and how that all went down, I think kind of everybody had the feeling or suspicion that it was going to come to this. Now, a lot of people are still saying that TNA made a mistake because they could have given Mike the title in front of his home crowd. But sometimes a bigger plan is in mind, and they had something else developing here. But yeah, Jeff, at this point, look, I think that it's the right move. I think Santana's going to be the guy. We obviously know, or we think we know that there's going to be some changes in TNA next year. A big one is with Joe Hendry's fate and where he's going to end up. And I think Mike is, look, people you guys reminded us about that Josh Alexander was the one who put over Mike Santana. Mm-hmm. And as kind of the next guy. It's just a continuation of what they had with Josh. And Mike, I think, deserves it, especially after the last pay-per-view. And I think he will represent TNA very well. As the champion, obviously it's not written in stone that he'll win, but yeah, I would think that would be where he would do it. And it's going to be another live crowd. Could be another very big crowd for them. But yeah, I think this is the right move, and we'll see. We'll see if they're going to have any shenanigans happening during this. Is Swerve gonna, Trick? Is Trick gonna have anything up his sleeve, a swerve up his sleeve, where he's gonna try to get out of this somehow, or we'll have to see as it plays on. But yeah, I'm happy with this decision, Jeff. I think that this is the right move for the main event for the show.
Yeah, it makes sense because they haven't really gotten a fair and square head-to-head face-off and match, and this time we get it. I'll be interested to see if we get any kind of stipulation at it. But for now, this is going to be the main event. I want to see who else gets involved because we know someone will. Something's going to happen during this match. So I'm excited to see it. Cannot wait to see it. I think Bound for Glory, is going to shape up to be the biggest pay-per-view for TNA maybe in the last 10 years, I'd say, when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. I mean, I'm excited to see it. Obviously, we'll be watching it with you guys. The tag team match, Jeff, the Hardys and the Dudleys. There's just a lot. There's a lot of big stuff happening there. And this has really, Jeff, become – like Slammiversary, when we first started doing our watch-along, Slammiversary was pretty much it. That was the big one. But Bound for Glory's really become their biggest pay-per-view of the year. This is really going to set the stage, though, Jeff, for what TNA is going to be in the future and what the future is going to be for the company moving forward. Who's going to carry that company on their back? So, yeah. Yep. Going to be exciting. Mark the calendar, guys. Of course, we will be here doing it all live. So it'll be great to see what's going to happen. We'll all be whether we will all be celebrating that they finally got the title back or not. And Trick will be laughing again at the end of the show. So interesting. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I think we all know what that means.
Oh, we are favorite time of the show. Yeah, it's been a while since we've heard that voice of one of my favorite comedy actors of all time, good old Jerry Stiller, which means it's time for the airing of grievances.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, You're gonna hear about it.
Oh man, gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've got a small one, Jeff, but you may go first, and then I will follow you up.
All right. All right. So I'm not gonna belabor mine. I'm just gonna throw this out there as something to think about. Um, you remember a day and time where wrestling wasn't analyzed like, I don't know, let's say football or basketball or baseball or any of the major sports. It didn't have all the coverage and all of the analysis and these different things that are out there now. It was a much simpler time, I feel like. It was a time where people really enjoyed wrestling for what it was, and they didn't spend a lot of time just absolutely crapping on everything and whining on social media and everywhere else. Um, I was reminded of how awesome wrestling can be in its purest form when it's a pure moment. Friday, seeing CM Punk look at AJ Lee the way that he did, yeah, that's love, don't get me wrong. But that's also the magic of wrestling. And you think about the crowd and the way that they reacted. That's the magic of wrestling. And just imagine, last thing I'll say, just imagine if we had gotten that moment and none of us would have known that she was there. It was just a complete surprise. And her music would have hit. She showed up. How awesome would that have been? So that's it. That's my little trip down memory lane.
Sometimes you wish that you can go back to just the magazines where you'd see the PWI, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine in your newsstand, and it would be out a month after all of the stuff that had already happened, and you wouldn't get any of that. You guys, a lot of you are way too young to know how that used to be. I mean, my God, I had to wait like 4 months or 5 months, I think, to watch WrestleMania, because the only way you could watch it was to go and rent the video. And then the fight to try to get that, because most cases, the video stores, especially if you went to mom and pop ones, because there wasn't a lot of like Blockbusters and stuff back then. There was just little mom and pop places. They couldn't afford the tapes because, remember, they had to pay for them. And back then, a tape of like a WrestleMania might have been 2 VHS tapes or more. So they're paying like $200 to $300 at that time during that period of time, which again, minimum wage was way lower than it is now. And they were having to buy these copies of these tapes. So many times they can only buy one. And then you'd have to put your name down, and you'd have to wait weeks in order to see it. And then the PWI with the results wouldn't come out for the next like month or two. So you wouldn't have any way to know. And at one point, newspapers, I don't know if you guys know what they are, but they're those black and white things that you don't get, but they would sometimes in their sports columns would have a little blurb at the very bottom, and it would say WWE results, or no, WWF results. And it would just tell you who won. But that, for as weird as that was, it was still very, very cool because of the anticipation, and also because you just didn't know. You didn't know. You'd go to school the next day, and then maybe somebody that like their parents were loaded, maybe they got it, and then they'd be the center of the attention in either the gym or the cafeteria. because they'd be telling the story. Oh, I saw Jake the Snake do this, and Macho Man did this, and they got because they got to see it. And then you're trying to fight your way through this crowd to try to hear this. And, like, you're like, oh, this sucks. This sounded so cool. Yeah, I mean, you guys you just won't know. Like, it sounded like a struggle, but it was fun. It was fun because you didn't get that. You didn't get the spoilers. You didn't get you just had to go by the seat of your pants because you just didn't know what was coming. And it was so much more fun. You're the generation today, and I'm going to get on my old man chair. Your generation will never understand that. And that's a shame. It really is, because it was a big part of it. And it's the same thing with all the, what I call Twitter people now, the bad Twitter people now, I call them twits. They're just twits. This is an old word that we used to use back in the day too. Look it up, twit. Yeah, like that was an insult that people used to call people twits. Now I call idiots on Twitter twits. So yeah, I'm surprised nobody came up with that before, honestly, because the word's probably too old and outdated. But
I'm sure they call them something else.
No, well,
it's
replace the I with another vowel.
It's something different.
Yeah, but it's like you spoil everything for yourselves, and it just makes things less fun. Like it's just not. And I'm not going to say I'm innocent of it. I've done it. But I've gotten to the point now where I've realized that I enjoy things too much when I don't spoil myself, and when I don't read all this stuff. And that's why I'm not on Twitter nearly as much as I used to be. And I'm just not, because people just do it to be jerks. And but yeah, Jeff's right. It's just something in wrestling that is. It's just very missed by myself. Obviously, Jeff misses it too, and you'll never know. You just will never know that feeling, and it just is what made things so cool. It's what makes like going to a movie that you're going in blind so cool, because you don't. But even movies now, the advertising campaign and the trailers make them spoil too much. They show too much, and you still get stuff spoiled. Nowadays, you got cameras everywhere. And, they're filming big films now, like the next Spider-Man movie. So much of that got spoiled already because people were just taking pictures where they were filming and stuff, and they see the actors who are in it and scenes that are in it. It's not, my God, one dude, they're filming Doomsday, the Avengers Doomsday, which is like their next big film. And a dude got a camera, put a camera on him, on his person, found a way to get onto a tree and over the security fence of where they have all the stuff built for the sets. And this dude went into the set area and filmed all this shit on a camera and stuck it out there and spoiled like all this stuff. Now you see everything that's on this set. You see all this stuff on that he took pictures of, and he did, and they don't even know who he is because he had a mask over his face. They don't know who the dude was, and he got out, but now it's everywhere. So, people just love to do that, and it's like, just why? You want to spoil yourself? Go ahead, but like, don't ruin it for everybody. But yeah, I totally get that. And completely agree with it. Blockbusters. This is even before Blockbuster, James. Even before, like we had the little mom and pop Joe Blow video store that was just on the corner that had the red room in the back. We had those.
Although I do miss Blockbuster.
Blockbuster couldn't have the red room. They couldn't have the red room. Because they were a national chain. They would have got criticized for having the red room. But yeah, man, it was just so much more fun. It really was. And I used to go to Smith's and read the wrestling. Yeah, he would. I used to go to I used to live in Walden Books. I lived in Walden Books. When Walden Books was open, I'd go right to their magazine rack, and I'd sit in there, like I'd be in there for hours. And I'd go over there sometimes during when I'd have classes in college. I'd leave there, go to the mall. I'd hit the arcade up. I'd go to Walden Books and I'd read up on all the wrestling reviews in the Insider. But yeah, it was just so much more of a fun time. And yeah, imagine to yourselves, like Jeff said, how cool it would have been if we all didn't know that she was going to end up there. Like, yeah, would have been mind blowing. So, yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. The TikTok generation would probably use the word twit wrong anyway, like they use woke. Yeah. Well, damn you, Robert Downey Jr. taking set pics. Yeah, it definitely wasn't him. The dude like literally revealed his face because there was nothing he could do to him. Like, yeah, I mean, he hopped the fence. They were kind of stupid enough, I guess, not to put a fence up by the tree. He didn't steal anything, obviously, or take anything. He just took a bunch of pictures, but he spoiled it. A lot of the stuff in there for people who probably really didn't want it spoiled. So, my grievance kind of goes a little hand in hand with that in a way. And the fact that staying away from things and the socials and all that kind of stuff is kind of like becoming more and more of a thing for me. And I used to look, I enjoyed Twitter when I first got on it. And the reason I did way back when I did was because I had heard that, some of you guys, and then, before obviously we started doing the podcast, that you can sometimes will speak to, like sometimes you could put something out on there that a celebrity would either follow you or respond to you or something, which I kind of thought was cool. And who knows if that was actually them? It could have been somebody that was just running their Twitter for them. Sure. But again, back in the day, the early days of it, it was kind of a fun way to do things. And I'll never forget some of the times, like even when we first started our show, when I was followed by wrestlers and things like that, which had never happened before. And I used to think, oh man, that's really cool. Or we get shouted out by a wrestler on social media and things like that. I used to think that was pretty cool because they don't have to do that. I remember when I got followed by Question Mark. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I still do. And it was very cool. I was like one of maybe 20 people that was followed by Josephus, by Question Mark. And I thought that was neat that he did. And I had conversations with him where he would see, he would say he would have all the words that were cryptic with just a couple letters with the questions and stuff like that. So it used to be a really cool place. And it degraded into what it's become. And it's sad in ways. But it's not a friendly place to be. And it's not a kind place to be. And it's not a fun overall. It's not a fun place to be anymore. There's too much of the political garbage. There's too much of the name calling, the infighting, the slander, the racism. It's too much, and it's really it's garbage. The site is just garbage. And seeing that degrade into what it has over the years, it is a cesspool. It's a good description for it. And like I said, it's sad because it didn't start out that way, and I wish that it would have been what it was at the very beginning when people got excited. Right. When you got excited, when people, I remember some of you guys in the chat, James, I remember many times you would get, James had a list of wrestlers that followed him and stuff like that, which is which is cool. Jeff, you were followed by Tony Todd, which I remember that that was a big thing for Jeff, because Jeff was a big fan. And Jeff, you've met some amazing people. You've met some cool people that you still talk to, that were on our program at some time, and it just sucks. It just sucks what it turned into, and what generally altogether social media has turned into. A lot of it's just garbage. Like Facebook, I don't mind being on Facebook, but and I've cut down. Believe me, I used to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people I followed on Facebook. I'm literally down to probably like 200, and they're just close friends of mine. I hardly follow anyone on there anymore. It's become a mass of ads. There's constant ads on there now. But look, you can't look really any further than the men that run them. And that's what's even worse. They're to me, they're not good people. To me, they're yes, they're billionaires. But I don't really think any highly or higher of them because they're billionaires. Watch some of the shows behind them and how they made their money. And how they got that way. But yeah, I'm sad about it, because I met some great people on them. Jeff and I both, when we started the show, met a lot of great people on them. And we have our little extended family that we've kept. But it's just become a place where I just don't want to be. I went over to Blue Sky. I'm there with my other podcasts and stuff, but Blue Sky is never going to turn into Twitter, because it's not nearly as big. And there's a small little audience on there, but yeah, and even there, you get these morons even there too. So, but yeah, just a little reflection, I think, for me, more than a grievance, I guess. Or maybe it's kind of the same thing. I'm kind of, and what I'm going to end this little thing with is I'm going to just try not to even talk about it anymore much, because it's like, I just don't care. I'm at the point where I just don't care. If people want to, all I'm going to share on there from insiders is positive stuff, fun stuff. Like I've been sharing, like I shared the AJ Lee thing the other day, little things like that. That's all I'm going to have on there. I'm not gonna get into words of war with anyone. I'm not gonna get into it with anyone. I'm not gonna. And if somebody tries to do that with me over there, they're just gonna get blocked, and I'm just gonna move on, because it's just not worth it. So, but yeah, and I would tell you, all you guys, as a life lesson from an old man, to do the same. Just things that are causing you any little bit of unhappiness in your lives. And I say this all the time about your entertainment, what you pick and choose is your entertainment. But, for social media too, if that is getting to the point where it's getting you in a foul mood, a bad mood, or, you're getting people that nitpick you and stuff like that, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just start blocking people and just, make it better for yourself. It's definitely not something that you should even spend an iota of your time with anymore than you need to. So that's it. Just a little thing about that I wanted to share.
Sounds good.
Good stuff. All right. Well, there you go. That is our airing of grievances for the week. Yeah, we're going to move on to our next segment. Jeff, what do we got coming up?
Sell or no sell. We got a little sell or no sell action going on. So this should be a lot of fun. We haven't done this in a while. So
you guys all know what to do. Play along in the chat. Obviously, we're going to have the first two. You are going to say whether you like it, whether you don't, by saying sell or no sell. And then we're going to let it up to you. You will pick a category. We will have a spinner. And we will choose one from you guys. So just keep in mind, we are going to need you to do that. So start thinking of what you want as your sell or no sell. Jeff, what's our first one?
First one, AJ Lee will eventually defeat Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. Sell
Wow.
or no sell?
Man, oh man, very interesting thought here. Are they gonna put the are they gonna put the rocket with AJ here and vault her right up to that women's IC title? Yeah, I would think so. I think I'll sell it. Sure. I mean, the fans are going to want it. Fans are certainly going to want to see it. And why else would she be coming back? Look, take everything away from both of the people who are the thorn in your sides, right? It's the worst thing you could do. Becky, take that title away. She loves that more than anything. And the same with Seth and CM Punk. So I would sell it. Yeah, I like the idea. I think it's a good plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it too. I think it would make it so much better, the fact that CM Punk and AJ take something away from Becky and Seth. I feel like that's the icing on the cake. So yeah, I'm gonna sell it.
All right. Noob disagrees. No sell. I get the feeling that Stephanie Vacher is winning the women's IC title. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sean Rousset saying sell. Deanna says sell. Give AJ all the titles. She deserves it all. Deanna's a fan. Let us know what you're thinking, guys. Sell or no sell. We got 2 responses so far. What do you think? What are you thinking? I know there's some people out there that are watching football too, so we got to give them a second or two.
That's true.
I'm selling pending on that match takes place. Oh, I think it's going to. I mean, look, I think the first thing we're going to see is the mixed tag.
Yep.
But then after that, that's certainly a match you could see overseas. Certainly a match you could see at Survivor Series. Even though they don't tend to do title matches a lot. There's Derek, speaking of the football guy. He's saying sell. Jeff, that would be the ultimate payoff. Punk and AJ taking the titles. Yeah, it really would. It really would. It really would. Now look, I mean, AJ signed on, so she's there for the long term. So it could be AJ Lee versus Becky. Could go to the Rumble.
At the Rumble, I like that.
Yeah, you could do it that way.
Imagine her winning that title that night and Punk winning the Rumble that night.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's ultimate revenge. And that's in Saudi, I think, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
The Rumble's in Saudi next year.
It is. Yeah, it is. That is right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a great call. That's a good shout out. Because a lot of times, we're in the time of the year now where you get kind of these little funky pay-per-views, like you got Survivor Series coming up, but a lot of times major titles don't change. But no, that's okay though. That's a big show for them. They've never had a pay-per-view of that magnitude before, so that's going to be big. That's going to be really, really big. And yeah, so why not? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So, all right, Jeff, what's our number 2?
All right, next topic. And this is heating up. So, EY's cleanse will lead to Joe Hendry's TNA exit.
I am so behind in TNA. I didn't even know this happened. What went down?
Okay,
what happened
so we started seeing signs in the crowd.
Okay.
Saying the cleanse is coming.
Okay.
And then backstage, we got a shot of Eric Young saying the cleanse is coming.
Okay.
And he said it started right here. And you pan down and you get Joe Hendry knocked out like he is right here. So then last
Mm.
week he addressed Eric Young and said, "Come down right now and let's handle this." And Eric Young said no. So they're going to have a match next week.
Okay.
So a lot of folks in chat were thinking, could this be something that leads to Joe Hendry's departure? Could it be the thing that leads to him being written out of the company? So that's kind of catching you up with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Jeff? It wouldn't be unprecedented. Eric Young did that with someone before.
Right. And someone's done that with Eric Young before.
Yeah. It would not be unprecedented. But now that I know, yeah, it certainly could be. I mean, look, we're not. If you're thinking that Joe isn't going to WWE, you're probably wrong. At this point, I think that's all but a given. It just depends on where he's going to go. Is he going to go to the main roster? Or is he going to go to NXT? My guess would be probably NXT for a little bit, but who knows? He may not. But yeah, I'm pretty certain with the love he's getting over there from Shawn Michaels and everything like that he's all but gone. And I don't really think they would have taken that title belt off him so soon if he wasn't. So yeah, I mean, why not let Eric do it? Sure. I mean, Eric's good at this kind of thing. And like I said, we've seen him do it before. He did it with Josh in a way as well. So yeah, I'll sell it. I think it's a logical explanation. So yeah,
Deanna has a good point there.
EY was murdered and came back. That's true. Yeah, that's true. He did. He did. So, but yeah, I'll sell it, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it too. I'll be the same. I'll go in the same lane here and sell it too. I just think it makes a lot of sense, and it's on brand for TNA to do stuff like that. So
now I'll ask you the question too, Jeff. So then my guess would be that the match would take place at Bound for Glory, and then that would be it. Then that would probably be it for Joe. I would guess after Bound for Glory.
I would assume. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. Be a little sad, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I would assume that's where it would take place.
Yep. Sean Rousset says sell. Deanna says sell if they want the big story send-off. Who else? You guys are quiet out there, man. We got to look. We need questions from you here, and nobody's responding. Come on, get off the football for a couple seconds.
We're about to have some topics right now.
Yeah, we're gonna need topics from you people, and that chat ain't moving. So those of you watching the Bills game, you can take your eyes away from it for a couple seconds. Noob says sell. I believe Joe Hendry's going to WWE. EY proposes and loser leaves TNA match at Bound for Glory. Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yep, I could see that. Yeah. All right, well, we got a few people. All right, guys, we need your help. So, look, if it's only going to be like 5 of you, that means we're going to need 2. We need 2 from each of you.
Yeah.
So here we go. Noob's got one. Sell or no sell? Asuka is going to turn on Io Sky at WrestlePalooza. James says I'm half asleep. Derek's saying sell. Derek's the football guy watching the game. All right, we need some more, guys. We got one. We need some sell or no sell topics. Derek, you too. Take your dip. One eye off the football. You can probably have one eye on the football, but one eye off the football. Got to come up with a question. Okay. Sean's got one. Sell or no sell? Chris Jericho will return at the Royal Rumble. Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that as a rumor.
Yeah.
All right, now we're rolling. Bonus Baby's got one. Sell or no sell? Kevin Knight would be in Leon Slater's spot if he stayed in TNA.
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
I love that question.
Yeah.
Who gave that one? Bonus baby.
Bonus baby. Yep. We need some more, folks. We need some more. I don't want to keep you up any later than it has to be. But we need a couple more. Even if you gave us one already, you want to give us two, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We need some more.
If you're feeling creative.
The Buffalo game isn't that great anyway. Buffalo's getting kind of wrecked. It's 27-13, man. Baltimore is up by 14 points.
So Brandon asked a good one, Joe. It's a retro question.
WCW Nitro's 83-week winning streak against WWE Raw was the start of WCW's demise. Interesting. Okay. I like that. Going back. I'm going a little retro. Brandon says, is AJ Lee and Becky Lynch... Oh, okay. He's looking at it from Survivor Series. Does AJ and Becky Lynch captain teams in War Games?
I'll just say they will, and we'll see.
Yeah. And then Deanna is saying AJ Lee wins the Rumble. Will AJ Lee win the Rumble and headline Mania?
I'll just say she will.
Okay. And then Sean's got another one. Drew McIntyre will dethrone Cody Rhodes for the title. That'd be something. Something not many would expect for sure.
All right, we're good there.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We got the spinner is going to get ready to go, and we will answer one of your questions.
All right, so we are good to... Oh, never mind. I'm going to add this last one from James.
Should TNA sign Michael Oku? Still a free agent, apparently. And Brandon's like, come on, big man. Brandon's playing Wheel of Fortune.
I was going to say they should.
Has anyone ever been, this is completely off topic, but has anyone ever been, or did you ever want to be on a game show? Like, is there ever a game show that you watched in your life that you, because we've all watched game shows at one point or another. Have you ever seen any, like a game show that you really, really would have wanted to be on? I'd just be interested to know that, just as a completely random question.
I wanted to be on The Price is Right.
Oh, that's such a good one. You get down into the row at the bottom and stuff like that, and then
Or Press Your Luck back in the day.
Press Your Luck for sure. Yes. I just want to be up there going, no whammies, stop. Mm-hmm. And then you hear burn, stop on a whammy. Yeah, I would have loved to play Press Your Luck. Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun too. Although, if they would have had a name that tune with an 80s theme, I needed to be on it because I would have won millions. Millions of dollars. I could have heard one note of most 80s songs and I would guess them. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
All right, we're ready?
Yep, we're all set. The spinner's going to go. Here it goes. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Big bucks. Let's go.
Oh.
All right. There it is. Chris Jericho will return at the Rumble.
All right.
Sean said, I wanted to be on Price is Right or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Ooh, Millionaire would have been a fun one. No whammy, says Deanna. I wanted to be on The Price is Right or Name That Tune. Oh, yeah. I just mentioned Name That Tune. I love that show, man. Price is Right 100%. I'd love to do Jeopardy, but I'd probably pull a Weird Al. Yeah, Jeopardy would be 2 tenths because I'm not that smart. I see those people on there. I'm like, yeah, they're brainiacs.
I know someone who was on Jeopardy.
Do you really? Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I would have just done the whole. Oh my God, Jeff! You remember White Men Can't Jump Foods with Q?
Yeah.
She studied all the Jeopardy stuff, and then she gets the Foods with Q question. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Okay, are we selling or we no selling? We got some answers already in the chat, Jeff. What you got? You go first.
So I do think that Chris Jericho will be at the Rumble. I just do. So I'm going to sell it. And if for no other, I think there are two reasons why. One, Hall of Fame. Two, probably the biggest money. That's it.
Yeah, look, where there's smoke, there's fire. And he's been talking about it a little bit. People have been asking him about it a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to sell it too. I could see it happening. I always said that I thought he's going to come back. And look, how much longer is Chris planning on wrestling full time? And if not now, when? I could see it. I get it. I understand the loyalty and stuff like that he has to his current company. I get all that, but we all know where he came from, and I'm sure he wants that nod to be in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to sell it too. I think it's just logical, and I think it's the time to do it. So, yeah, so I'm going to sell it. So Deanna sold it. Sean sold it. Derek is selling it. Brian McGrath. I was in the audience and The Price is Right. Oh, that's cool. And Johnny Olson spoke to me during the commercial. No way. That's awesome. Johnny Olson, the famous voice of The Price is Right. We were sitting in the second row on the left of the. That's cool, man. I've never been to a game show. I'd like to go to even sit in one. I think that'd be cool. Bonus Baby's no selling it, but if Jericho did, they should start the 10-second countdown, normal countdown, then change to Y2K. Oh yeah, that'd be a cool way to do it, for sure. Yeah, Hall of Fame for sure, and he's and he's on the list. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna sell unless AEW offers him a deal he can't resist. So you think he would take that though, Brandon? You think he would take the money over being able to go back where he was famous for so many years and having the celebration of the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I don't think the dude needs money that bad. I really don't. Money's great, but Jericho, I think, is okay there. I think he has enough money. So I don't know. I kind of think that I mean, he's talked about the Hall of Fame. I've heard him in just random interviews talking about the WWE Hall of Fame. So I'm pretty sure he wants to be in there. So, all right. Well, there you go. Well, guys, look, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thanks for playing along. I know this is rough. It's first Sunday Night Football. I get it. I'm a big football fan too. I get it. So, all right. Well, there you go. That is our sell or no sell for the week. Thank you so much for playing. Here's a question for you. How would you bring him back? In what way? In gimmick? I'm partial to the Y2J stuff. I think that was his best work in WWE. So I would have to say that. I think that was the best that he's ever done, and what he was most remembered for. That entrance when he came during Y2K when he came back, as that was just phenomenal. Think with WWE give him off time if he wanted to do the concerts and stuff like that. The WWE doesn't need him there all the time. So yeah, I could see that too.
I will say I do like the Y2J thing, but he really got that list thing over.
The list thing was good too. Yeah, you're right.
Over big time. So
yeah, you're right. You're on the list.
Yeah.
He could. You know what though, Jeff? Too. A lot of the veterans that come back, they kind of peruse through their history. Mm-hmm. Kind of like almost like Cena came back and he did a little bit of it.
Greatest.
Yeah. And I would think that would end up probably being similar. I think they would kind of just give him a free reign with what he wanted to do. So yeah. The list was fun. Remember him with Kevin Owens in the list? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Fun. Yeah, it's just fun stuff, man. One of the best returns ever. I think we may have done a countdown to that on our Twitch channel at one point, returns. But one of the best returns ever, man. That clock and everything. Oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah.
After Punk wins the world title, one last run as the best in the world. Yeah, why not? Why not, man? No time like the present, and before the guys get, before something happens where they might get injured or something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go, Jeff. That is our Sell or No Sell segment for this week. And what do we have next on our agenda?
It's about to get toasty.
Oh, look, it's September. The September winds are starting to blow, man. We're getting that little touch of fall. It's coming slowly but surely. The days are getting cooler. The nights are getting down in the 40s, stuff like that. Pretty soon it'll be my favorite time of the year, October and Halloween, when all the scary stuff comes on. Not going to see The Conjuring, by the way. Won't watch the commercial. No and no and no. So yep, but that is I've been brushing up on my Halloween and stuff. I've been watching some of the old Halloweens over and over again, and so yeah. But it's going to be that time. So you need a little warmth in your life. We're here to provide you with that.
That's right. We're going to do it, and this is a fun one too. I feel like people will really enjoy and participate with this question. So here we go. Burning question of the week, folks.
The burning question of the week.
All right. All right, there we go.
All right, here we go. If there was a wrestler in any previous era that you could bring into today's wrestling scene, who would it be and why? Ooh, man. Man, this is a tough one.
That's a good one.
It is a good one, yeah. It is a good one. Man, dude. I have to go to a talker. So I have to go to someone who is fantastic on the mic, but now I got to choose between two. And this might be too difficult for me to do because they're two of my all-time favorite wrestlers ever. But I could see both really, really killing it in the way that that especially in the way how promos have become lately, and very promo centric, and they are two of the all-time best. But I'll shout them out both just because I can. Roddy Piper and Jake the Snake Roberts.
You were gonna go.
Yeah. I can't choose between either one, but they both were they were both so good at promos and doing promos that it's timeless. They could come out today and still cut a promo like they did 25, 30 years ago, and it would still be amazing. And I think in a little now look, it's starting to get better. It's getting much, much better. But I think before maybe the last few years, promos kind of were not like, and that's why I enjoyed TNA so much, because they focused a lot more on talking. And some other places kind of didn't. And I still think that is one of my favorite things in pro wrestling is a really good come out and grab you promo. And that's what I'll always remember Piper and Jake for those, because they were just tremendous at it. And you didn't even see, like, they got to a point where Hot Rod and Jake would wrestle on pay-per-views only. So you didn't even really see them wrestle that much. Now they would go and do their stuff on the road, but that was when, you couldn't really see a lot of shows on the road unless you were close to the shows. But yeah, they were just two of my all-time favorites. Amazing. And yeah, I think they would perfectly fit in today's wrestling. Perfectly. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, who do you got?
Honestly, anytime anyone asks me about any era and I get to pick my favorite wrestler of all time and say Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, I knew. Yep.
Because I feel like personally Ricky Steamboat was ahead of his time. If you really think about some of the things that he did, his move set, and you look at some of the smaller guys today, you can see where a lot of that came from. And I feel like his run as a legitimate main eventer, people would have appreciated more because you see more people his size and smaller having that success. So I'd say Ricky Steamboat. The other one that I'm going to say is a weird one, but it just popped into my brain. Arn Anderson.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Arn Anderson.
Yep.
Just because, or an Arn Anderson type, just an enforcer of a heel, just so many different things you could do with Arn Anderson.
James is talking about this guy. I'm buff and I'm the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, Buff Bagwell, man. James is saying Macho Man. Ooh yeah, and Mr. Perfect. Oh my God, I'll never forget the stuff when he shoot the hoop from across court, and there's this old wrestling is so much fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised I don't watch more of it. I really should take the time, make myself happy, and watch more old wrestling because it's so much fun.
It's good for the soul, Joe.
It really is. Just warms your heart, man. Ricky Steamboat because he could have some great matches with some of the new talent, or Mick Foley if he could have some hardcore matches with the new talent. Yeah, Mick was always a great promo too. Fun character, and I would say if still alive, the American Dream. Yeah, Jeff, I almost thought that's where you were going to go. Dusty. I almost thought you were going to pick Dusty. Yeah.
He was right after Arn because I feel like from a promo and believability standpoint and just kind of a groundswell of fan support.
Yep.
His support, I feel, would be a lot like Daniel Bryan's was in WWE. Even bigger.
You're spot on with that, Jeff, because you know what? Dusty was around in a time where you had these huge, larger-than-life personalities like Piper, like Jake Roberts, and like Hulk Hogan and all that. And there's Dusty, and his thing was, I'm the common man.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant. When you think about it, it was brilliant. He was just being himself, which is when you see all these other guys and you're like Dusty and the thought process might have been, well, how the hell am I going to compete with a Hulk Hogan? There's this guy who's jacked, and he's all tan and he's got the long blonde hair and he's got, I'm just going to be myself. Brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. So, the wrestling cartoon Hogan Rockin' Wrestling coming to WWE. Oh, is it really? No way.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm going to watch that, dude. I loved that when I was a kid. Loved it. I couldn't miss that show. That came on it was either right before or right after on a Saturday morning with the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, which I loved. But yeah, I will definitely watch that. That's fantastic. I love that.
That's awesome.
Jeff and I were floating around ideas. Would you guys be up for something that would deal with classic wrestling from us? Like we don't know yet what it would be, and it doesn't necessarily have to be watch-alongs or anything like that because they're long. But yeah, would you be up for something like from us if we ever did like a short show? Like let's say a show like an hour long, or like almost like a Fireflies kind of thing, where we would just talk about the good old days kind of stuff, right? And we would pick a topic, or a wrestler, or something along those lines. We'll go over the details. But yeah, would you guys be interested in something like that? Derek says I'm in. Sean says yes. I just think that would be fun, man. I mean, we're old, so we know all that stuff. James is like, hell yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, maybe that could be something. Jeff and I bantered that. We talked about that before. So yeah. I mean, something different. It's something not a lot of people do. Yeah. pick a classic wrestler of the week, do a show on it. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, look, and here's where you all come in. And I said this to you at the beginning. Give us the suggestions. Send them over to me on Twitter if you're on Twitter, or send them wherever. Put them in the comments of the video. Do that, because that helps us out both ways, because then we'll get comments and we'll get, just throw the ideas out. Nothing is a bad idea. We want to hear from you. So throw the ideas out, and I would love that. Give us your ideas. And I just think that would be fun, and it would be something that could be there when sometimes we get a little down on wrestling, like we were earlier in the year, like in March, April, May, or we get a little bored, I think that could be cool. Brian says a good idea. I'm going to ask if we could be interested in a show about classic cartoons. Look, Speed Racer. Oh my God, I love that show. Go Speed Racer. Yeah. Doc, and what was the villain in it? No, it wasn't a villain. Racer X.
Yeah,
the guy who was like the mystery, like you didn't know who he was, and it was supposed to be Speed's brother, but you didn't really know.
Such a cool. God. Yeah, it was dude. So cool.
I used to make my wife sit through that cartoon when we were first dating and stuff like that, because they used to still have it on. And I remember she used to see the father in Chim Chim, and she's like, "What the hell is it?" She's like, "What the hell is a Chim Chim?"
What is a Chim Chim? Yeah,
there was that goofy little. What was he? A monkey? I think he was a monkey. But everybody was that he was like the pet or whatever. And then, oh my God, but it's an old style anime. Man, classic feud show could get some wacky topics. Nothing is a bad idea. Derek, I mean, we can't do X-rated content on the show, but as much as you'd want us to, we can't do. Oh, then again, you probably wouldn't want us to do. Yeah, no. Deanna read my mind. Sorry, I hated Speed Racer. It's more than Star Blazers is fantastic too. I love that show.
That's the whole X-rated content.
Yeah. Star Blazers are great. I know the theme song for that too. Oh, Star Blazers. I used to watch G-Force. Did you ever watch G-Force Bonus Baby with the fiery phoenix that the ship would turn into the? I watched all that. Voltron, Transformer. Yeah, I love that. Star Blazers. They actually made a movie of that. I think not a live action film, but it was an animated movie that I watched. It was all dubbed. Can we watch a bikini contest? Wacky Racers was great too with Muttley. Now we're getting into cartoons. It'd be too easy to veer. Were you old enough to see the live sex celebration with Edge and Lita? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now we're gonna get bots.
Yeah.
Damn it. We're gonna. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, this is how I got introduced to Spider-Man, by watching the 60s Spider-Man cartoons. For as bad as some people think they were, but I loved it. I ate that all up. I loved all that stuff, man. Loved all that stuff. But yeah, thanks. No, give us. Yeah, if you have suggestions for that, like a classic wrestling show, let us know. We'd love to hear. Oh my God! Now we're over the rails. We're off the rails now. Thanks to James, we're off the rails.
Giggity,
giggity. Yep. Oh, now we're definitely gonna get bots.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
We're definitely gonna get bots.
Oh.
Yeah, now we're getting.
There you go.
Love it. Name that tune. Careless Whisper, baby. Wham. Perfectly in Deadpool, by the way. That's which is where Jeff got that from. That was a perfect use of that. Perfect use of that. So, all right. Anyway, all right. There you go. That is our burning question of the week, and it burned in more ways than one, obviously, as you could see right now in the chat. So we're on fire now. All right, guys. All right. It's time for the favorite moments of the week. I think I know what everyone's number one is probably going to be, but that's okay. So we're going to go 3, we're going to go 2, we're going to go 1. Participation from you all, please. Tell us what your 3 favorite moments in wrestling were for this past week of wrestling. Let us know what those are. So 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to start with number 3. So, Jeff, what's your number 3?
My number 3 moment of the week, and this may sound a little Homer-ish. It may sound a little bit weak, but you got to celebrate the victories. And that's getting through an episode of TNA Wrestling live with no technical difficulties.
Oh, boy.
Kudos to TNA Wrestling. I know that they caught a lot of grief after the last one because of all the stuff. So kudos to them for working that out and having a really good broadcast. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I say that all the time. Like that's like job one. You got to get that stuff cleaned up. Because if you're getting people over from WWE that are watching NXT, that are coming over to watch your show, you cannot not have that stuff work.
Yep.
So yeah. Captain Caveman. Cool story about Careless Whisper. It took 11 sax players to get it how George Michael wanted it. The 11th guy nailed it because he asked the engineer to slow the track down so he can hit every note. I love the saxophone. I really do. And the 80s had tons of it. And that's why I like the synthwave stuff that's out now, because they brought it back. I always loved the saxophone, and I loved there were bands in the 80s. Quarter Flash was one who had a female lead singer, and they had a saxophone player. In fact, she, I think, played saxophone as well. But yeah, I always love Eddie Money. Eddie Money had a lot of songs with saxophone in. And I always loved saxophone, man. If I could play an instrument, I think that would have been it. But yeah, I think that would have been very cool. My number 3. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
I played trombone and baritone.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I never was able to. I bought myself a bass guitar with every intention of learning how to play, but this was back in the day of no internet. So the only way I could learn it was through a video cassette. Yep. And I've tried it, and I'm like, nope, this ain't gonna happen. So, but I really, that's one of the things I really wish I would have done. And who knows, maybe, as I'm getting older, maybe it'd be something that I would do. Find somebody to teach me how to play an instrument. Quarter Flasher, Rindy Ross. They, I don't know if you know, she still does music with her husband, who was in the band. And it's his name and Rindy was the album. It was very cool. I ordered the record or the CD, from their, I forget where it was, Bandcamp. I don't remember, but I ordered it from there, and they autographed it for me. They sent me a little letter. It was very cool. It was very, very cool of her to do that. I was always a big fan. I loved them since I saw them on Dick Clark. And yeah, one of my favorite 80s bands. Always loved it. So my number 3 was, my former employee that used to work for me named Joey, lives down in Florida. And, I got sent those pictures that Jeff shared of the Wyatt house, which was very cool, of him to do, because, he knows how much I would have wanted to go see it. And I just can't. So, he was nice enough to do that. And he went through and took pictures for me, and got me those, which was neat. So I kind of lived like a little bit vicariously through him, to go see it, because I was that and I got Jason pics too of the Jason house as well. So it was very cool, a very, very cool thing for him to do. And of course I kept all those pictures, and some of them were just amazing. I'm not sure now that I saw a lot of it that I could have gotten through it without getting a little misty eyed myself, because I think it would have Yeah, I think it would have done that. And but I'm glad that I'm glad they have it, and I'm glad that that Bo is getting to see it. I know he said he's going to go to both of the haunted houses for the premiere and stuff like that. And I saw him in an interview that's where he said that, and I think it's very cool. Jason Baker recently went, and I'm glad that that's the case. I'm glad that all of Bray's friends, his close friends, people that he worked with over the years, were able to get down there and to get involved with that and to see that and the fact that it's just another thing that Bray's light will always carry on and things things like that we'll see and a lot of the reactions I'm seeing from streamers and stuff on YouTube that just stream all of them. A lot of them are coming out and they're saying that was one of their favorite ones. And
yeah, one of the best.
a lot of them knew nothing about it. They weren't wrestling fans. They didn't know anything about it, but a lot of them say it just was very like emotional and stuff like that. So very, very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. But that's my number 3. Foreigner's Urgent, Fire Sax solo, and Big Bill calling out Eddie Kingston for more for Brian Keith's part, though. Yeah, that's a great song. Urgent's a great song. Yeah. Yep. Foreigner, I always like them too, but I have some weird songs by them that I like. I like the song called Heart Turns to Stone that they sang on an album that wasn't extremely popular, but yeah, Jukebox Hero, of course, too. The Clash in signing AJ Styles is the number 3 for Sean Rousset. Yeah, give us your number 3s, please. The crowd from the Clash in Paris. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, that Paris crowd. I'll tell you what. They keep doing what they're doing there, Jeff. They're going to get a Mania. They're going to get Slam. There's no doubt. That crowd just blows everybody away.
Yeah,
just it really just does. They are just amazing there. Yeah. Yep. Just amazing over there. So that's a great one. Clash in Paris fan says Sean Rousset singing to AJ. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Something big happened in football.
Yeah, you'll see it replayed. That's all I'm gonna say. I was looking at this, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw the replay, and I'm like, "Oh, there's no way that happened."
What's the score now? Let's see.
Oh, it's
34-19.
Yeah, they're
wow. Baltimore laying it on,
opening it up a little bit. All right, so number 2.
Number 2, Jeff, what you got?
My number 2. And I go back and forth on this. I could do a 2A and a 2B. That's what I'll do.
Go ahead.
Seeing those pictures, Joe, like we really dove into a lot of those pictures and everything on the show on Tuesday, and it was just cool to see that. And recently hearing that story about Bray saying that one day he was going to have a haunted house in there and everything, and seeing that has happened is really, really remarkable. We talked about we wish that he was here to really see it and be here with everyone to appreciate it, but we know that he's smiling down.
Yeah.
So that was 2A. 2B is John Cena's last run. And I bring that up because while I wasn't the biggest fan of the heel stint, man, oh man, he's been wrestling some of the best matches of his career.
Yeah.
These last few ones. So, yeah, I got to shout out John Cena. And last thing I'll say in regards to the Wyatt Six, if you have not yet, go check out Montez Ford's Instagram.
Uh-oh.
Go check out his Instagram. Look at some of his last several videos, and let's have a discussion on Tuesday. Come talk to me on Tuesday so we can chat about that. So, yeah.
Montez is going a little dark maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, look, it's great that it lives on, and obviously, yeah. Make sure you join Jeff and Chris on Tuesdays because they are keeping that tradition alive. I'm sure Jody would have gone to see the house as well, and I'm sure Chris is enjoying that also, just getting to see that. So it really is cool that they're going to get. And someday, guys, we're gonna have him inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's going to be a celebration. It's going to be teary-eyed time, but it will happen whenever his kids and his family are ready to do that. So, all right, my number 2. I'm just going to make mine quick. It was already mentioned. Was the crowd for Paris? Yeah, they are just so much fun to watch. And every time they go there, you just know you're just going to get an amazing audience and an amazing crowd. And that's what WWE wants, man. They want those ruckus, excited, those crowds that are going to participate. And man, Paris they're just going to be hard to beat. They are going to be hard to beat. American Standard, man, you gotta step up your game. Whatever city they go to, especially some of these bigger events, man, could you imagine Paris having a Mania and keeping that energy for the entire, however long the hours are of each one of those nights? It would be incredible.
That would be
incredible, crazy. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, hats off to them. They are just phenomenal crowd. All right, that brings us to number 1. Jeff, what is your number 1? Brandon says number 2, fallout from the clash throughout the week, Raw and SmackDown. I think I got everybody's. The Elegance title celebration. Was it a coincidence that the personal concierge ended up with a piece of Ash's face? Said bonus, maybe. Wyatt 6 and Street Profits in Paris. The entrance was Wyatt 6 entrance also. Did I miss anyone? No. Okay,
yeah,
Jeff.
Ash had a beautiful painting commissioned for her celebration.
Of course.
Since she's TNA's savior is what she refers to.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So, spoiler alert. My number 1 has absolutely zero to do with wrestling. So,
okay.
As long as you all know that going into it, my number 1 is my little guy scoring a touchdown yesterday. Scored his team's first touchdown of the season.
That's awesome.
They, by the way, flag football, ridiculous overtime rule. They start you at the 5-yard line. All right, listen to this. They put you at the 5-yard line. You get 1 play. That's it. 1 play each team.
Oh, wow.
Whoever gets the most yards wins the game.
Oh, geez.
That's overtime.
Yeah, that's weird.
Although honestly, they could have flipped the coin yesterday. They could have flipped a plate. They could have done anything because everybody was ready to get out of the rain yesterday. So at that point, people said, "You know what? Let's just get out of here. Let's just go," because everyone was soaked. But he caught a touchdown, caught another pass too, and did a good job on defense. But yeah, it was just good seeing him be so excited. New year, new experience, new team. He doesn't have any of the teammates or the coaches from last season. So yeah, it was really good to see him kind of step up and do a good job and take it seriously and really put in that effort. The few days before that, we had gone over how to block and how to stay in front of your block, and seeing him be taking that, what I taught him, and being able to use that the entire game and stay in front of the folks and block for his quarterback was pretty cool to see. So
that's awesome.
That's my number 1.
That's an amazing number 1, man. I kind of have a 1A and a 1B. My 1B, of course, is AJ. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because we know. And I'll give a shout out on a personal note as well. My oldest just turned 29, and I'm like flabbergasted, like she's almost 30 years old. And boy, I'll tell you, when you have kids and you think of the memories, right? And my gosh, I can remember things like it was when it was yesterday. My wife and I living in our apartment that we were in at the time, and I used to take the night shifts with my daughter because I was always the night owl. So my wife would go to bed, and I would, if she would wake up crying, I'd be the one to to get her and be giving her a bottle and kind of holding her until she'd fall asleep and stuff like that. And I remember being terrified. Like I don't scare particularly easy unless there's some possessed thing going on. But I just remember being terrified, sitting out there alone, my wife sleeping, and it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna break this little thing in my arms, right? Like but yeah, she's almost 30 years old. And all I will say is that just don't let those little things get past you. Like Jeff is talking about memories that he's having now with his son. Don't let those little things get past you because it's so easy to do. And you never get it back. And before you know it, it just goes that fast. And this coming summer, my wife and I will be empty nesters. Both of our daughters will be gone. And it's crazy. I tell Jeff that all the time, man. I'm like, live, because a lot of times we get caught up in life. We get caught up in work. We get caught up in the other things. But that's, the most important thing is spending time with the kids. And, I'm just very happy for both my daughters. They're both great kids. And my oldest is living her best life. She's HR in L'Oreal. I never thought in a million years that this my oldest right now. My youngest, yes, my oldest was always kind of quiet. She's a little more reserved and stuff like that. But she literally takes a train from Jersey into Manhattan, gets off at Grand Central Station, walks to a skyscraper, which she showed me a picture of, goes up in there, and that's where she works. And I'm like, you're going to New York City every day, and it like astounds me because I'm like, I never would have thought. I never would have thought in a million years. But yeah, she's such a sweet person. My daughter always was very, very, very kind. She got her birthday present early. I don't know if I haven't seen you guys. I know I showed it to Jeff, but she is a big fan of the band Coldplay. And she was at a Coldplay concert with her partner. And now this was right before, and you probably heard of this, but the big kiss cam controversy that the dude who was the executive of the company got caught with the HR person on the kiss cam. That happened the night after they had gone to theirs. So she went to see them and she got on the camera. And it was awesome. She was like, the look on her face, she was shocked. And he sang to her, the lead singer sang to her, and what a moment. I told her, I said, man, you got your 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. She shared the video on Facebook, and it was just awesome. Like I could just see like the joy like on her face of being sung to by her favorite all-time singer in her favorite band. So yeah, it was just cool. And just knowing the fact that she's going to be 30 years old next year, it's like, man, oh man, where did the time go? Where did the time go? Bonus babies both my girls are over 30 now. I have a teenage granddaughter. Oh, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how fast the time goes. Don't like I said, just cherish it, guys. Just don't ever let any of this little stuff, like this stuff that we talk about, and there you go. There's a pic.
That's him blocking a kid.
I told Jeff, he's gonna be a big dude.
He's 10 years old.
He's gonna be a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him in the blue. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, enjoy every moment and just enjoy the things that are important. because stuff like we talk about sometimes on here and the socials and all that kind of stuff, that's none of that is important. But enjoy the important stuff, because that's really what means the most. So, oh yeah, a lot of memes came out of that for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, that was just stupidity. My wife saw that and she's like, how dumb would you be to know that you're an executive of a company, you're higher up in a company, you're messing around with an HR person on your wife, and where do you go? The most public place you could think of to be. Like, you're to sneak around. You don't go to a concert. Like, what are you, stupid? You know, he's like, he deserved every bit of what he got. Every bit of what he got. And he lost his job. He got fired. I don't know what happened to her, but just dumb. Just dumb. Like, how you got your executive spot, I don't know. But anyway, I digress. All right, guys. Well, there you go. That is going to do it for this one. Again, thank you so much for coming out and checking out the show with us. We appreciate all of you, especially those of you that stay up late to check out the show and everything. We appreciate it. I missed all of you. I will definitely be catching up with more TNA now that the back to school thing and the back to school rush in Staples is over. Thank God. So I will definitely see more of you on Thursday for sure. But yeah, get us those ideas about the classic wrestling thing, please. Like I said, comment on the video. That actually helps us in two different ways. But yeah, drop a comment on the video. We can get them that way, or you can just shout them out over in Twitter or whatever. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget our schedule for the rest of this week. Obviously, we have Fireflies Forever on Tuesday, and Jeff said make sure you check that out because they're gonna talk about the Montez Ford thing a little bit. They're going to talk about some other things that are going on with all the stuff with the Wyatt Six. So check out Jeff and Chris on Tuesday, and then join us on Thursday for our TNA watch along. Of course, like I said, we inch closer and closer to the next pay-per-view. So join us for that as well. And check out all of our other content as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you're new, obviously, and you're not listening, you're not live here with us, and you're watching it afterwards, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a like on the video as well. It helps us out in a big way. And hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have the future content, and also all those little shorts and stuff like that too that Jeff does. Make sure you check those out as well because he works hard on that stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us for this one. Have a great night. Please stay safe. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully we will see you all on the next episode of The Insiders. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we will talk to you all soon. Good night, everybody.